Bandeyam Sri Guru Shiyata Paragamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishikam Vitam Sya Om Agyana Timaranda Shagana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Nama Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Bidam Ujvalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Bidam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Baranam Balarka Chelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Vandetam Shivaram Mareka Sharanam Nyasishwara Sridharam Vanchakopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Adi-lila, Chapter 9, the Desired Tree of Devotional Service. We'll begin with verse number 1. Tam Srimad Krishna Chaitanya Devam Bande Jagat Gurum Yashanukam Playa Swapi Mahabdim Santarit Sukham. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual master of the entire world, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a dog can swim across a great ocean. Sometimes it is to be seen that a dog can swim in the water for a few yards and then come back to the shore. Here, however, it is stated that if a dog is blessed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can swim across an ocean. Similarly, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, placing himself in a helpless condition, states that he has no personal power, but by the desire of Lord Chaitanya, expressed through the Vaishnavas and the Madan Mohan Vigraha, it is possible for him to cross the transcendental ocean to present Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gaurachandra, Jaya Jaya Dvaita Jaya Jaya Nityananda. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is known as Gaurahari. All glories to Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu. Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Gaurabhaktagan, Sarva Bhishta Purti Hetu Jahara Smaran. All glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas Thakur. In order to fulfill all my desires, I remember their lotus feet. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath. I also remember the 6 Goswamis, Rupa, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva, Gopal Bhatta, and Dasa Raghunath. This is the process for writing transcendental literature. A sentimentalist who has no Vaishnava qualifications cannot produce transcendental writings. There are many fools who consider Krishna Lila to be a subject of art and who write or paint pictures about the pastimes of Lord Krishna with the gopis, sometimes depicting them in a manner practically obscene. These fools take pleasure in material sense gratification, but one who wants to make advancement in spiritual life must scrupulously avoid their literature. Unless one is a servant of Krishna and the Vaishnavas, as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami presents himself to be in offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, his associates, and his disciples, one should not attempt to write transcendental literature. Esaba prasade liki Chaitanya Lila gun janina janivana jani kori apana sodhan. Esaba prasade liki Chaitanya Lila gun janivana jani kori apana sodhan. It is by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whether I know it or know not, it is for self-purification that I write this book. This is the sum and substance of transcendental writing. One must be an authorized Vaishnava, humble and pure. One should write transcendental literature to purify oneself, not for credit. By writing about the pastimes of the Lord, one associates with the Lord directly. One should not ambitiously think, I shall become a great author, I shall be celebrated as a writer. These are material desires. One should attempt to write for self-purification. It may be published or it may not be published, but that does not matter. If one is actually sincere in writing, all his ambitions will be fulfilled. Whether one is known as a great author is incidental. One should not attempt to write transcendental literature for material name and fame. Malakara Swayam Krishna Premam Mara Taru Swayam Data Bhokta Tatvalanam Yastam Chaitanyam Ashraye. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who himself is the tree of transcendental love of Krishna, its gardener and also the bestower and enjoyer of its fruits. Prabhu kohe ami Vishvambar namadori namasartaka hoy jari prema Vishvabari. Lord Chaitanya thought, my name is Vishvambar, one who maintains the entire universe. Its meaning will be actualized if I can fill the whole universe with love of Godhead. Eta chinti loila prabhu malakara dharma nabadipe arambila fulo dhyana karma. Thinking in this way, accepted the duty of a planter and began to grow a garden in Navadip. Sri Chaitanya Malakara Prativite Ani Bhakti Kalpataru Ropila Sinchi Ichapani. Thus the Lord brought the desired tree of devotional service to this earth and became his gardener. He sowed the seed and sprinkled upon it the water of his will. In many places, devotional service has been compared to a creeper. One has to sow the seed of the devotional creeper, Adi-lila, within his heart. As he regularly hears and chants, the seeds will fructify and gradually grow into a mature plant and then produce the fruit of devotional service, namely love of Godhead, which the gardener, Malakara, can then enjoy without impediments. Jaya Shri Madhavapuri Krishna Premapur Bhakti Kalpa Tarur Teho Pratama Ankur. All glories to Sri Madhavendra Puri, the storehouse of all devotional service unto Krishna. He is a desired tree of devotional service, and it is in him that the seed of devotional service first fructified. Sri Madhavendra Puri, also known as Sri Madhavapuri, belonged to the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya and was a greatly celebrated sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the third disciplic descendant from Sri Madhavendra Puri. The process of worship in the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya was full of ritualistic ceremonies with hardly a sign of love of Godhead. Sri Madhavendra Puri was the first person in that disciplic succession to exhibit the symptoms of love of Godhead and the first to write a poem beginning in the words, Ayidina Dayadranata, O supremely merciful personality of Godhead. And that poem is the seed of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cultivation of love of Godhead. Sri Ishwara Puri Rupe Ankura Pushta Hoila Apane Chaitanya Mali Skanda Apajila. The seed of devotional service next fructified in the form of Sri Ishwara Puri, and then the gardener himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became the main trunk of the tree of devotional service. Nija Chintya Shakti Mali Haya Skanda Hoy Sakala Shakara Se Skanda Malashrai. By his inconceivable powers, the Lord became the gardener, the trunk, and the branches simultaneously. Paramananda Puriyara Keshava Bharati Brahmananda Puriyara Brahmananda Bharati Vishnu Puri Kesha Puri Puri Krishnananda Srina Shringa Tirtha Ara Puri Sukhananda Enava Mula Nika Shila Brika Mule Enava Mule Brika Korila Nilachale. Paramananda Puri Kesha Bharati Brahmananda Puri and Brahmananda Bharati Sri Vishnu Puri Kesha Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Srina Shringa Tirtha, and Sukhananda Puri, these 9 sannyasi roots all spread from the trunk of the tree. Thus the tree stood steadfastly on the strength of these 9 roots. I'll read those names again. Paramananda Puri, Kesha Bharati, Brahmananda Puri, and Brahmananda Bharati, Sri Vishnu Puri, Kesha Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Sri Nrsinga Tirtha, and Sukhananda Puri. These 9 sannyasi roots all spread from the trunk of the tree. Thus the tree stood steadfastly on the strength of these 9 roots. Madhya Mula Paramananda Puri Mahadir Ashtadiki Ashtamula Brika Koilastir. With a sober and grave Paramananda Puri as the central root and the other 8 roots in the 8 directions, the tree of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the tree of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood firmly. With a sober and grave Paramananda Puri as the central root and the other 8 roots in the 8 directions, the tree of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood firmly. Skandera upare bahu saka upajila, upare saka asankhya hoila. From the trunk grew many branches, and above them innumerable others. Vishvashas Shakakori Egg Mandal Mahamaha Shaka Chaila Brahmanda Sakal. Thus the branches of the Chaitanya tree formed a cluster or society with great branches covering all the universe. Ekaika Shakate Upashaka Shata Shata Jatu Upajila Shaka Ke Ganibes Kata. From each branch grew many hundreds of sub-branches. No one can count how many branches thus grew. Mukya Saka Ganer Nama Agaman Ageta Koriba Shuna Brikara Varnan. I shall try to name the foremost of the innumerable branches. Please hear the description of the Chaitanya tree. Vrikara Upare Shaka Hoila Duiskanda Ekadwaita Nama Aranityananda. At the top of the tree, the trunk branched into two. One trunk was named Sri Advaita Prabhu and the other Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Se Duiskande Bahu Shaka Upajila Tara Upashaka Gane Jagat Chaila. From these two trunks grew many branches and sub-branches that covered the entire world. Borashaka Upashaka Tara Upashaka Jadupajila Tara Ke Korive Leka. These branches and sub-branches and their sub-branches became so numerous that no one can actually write about them. Sishya Prasishya Ara Upasishyagan Jagat Vyapila Tara Nahika Ganan. Thus the disciples and grand disciples and their admirers spread throughout the entire world, and it is not possible to enumerate them all. Udambara Brika Jena Fule Sarva Anga Udambara Brika Jena Fale Sarva Ange Emata Bhakti Brike Sarvatra Fala Lage. Is a big fig tree, bears fruits all over its body. Each part of the tree of devotional service bore fruit. Mula Skandera Saka Ara Upashaka Gane Lagila Jay Prema Fala Amritaka Jine. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the original trunk, the taste of the fruits that grew on the branches and sub-branches surpassed the taste of nectar. Pakila Jay Premafal Amritera Madhura Vilaya Chaitanya Mali Nahi Loy Mula. The fruits ripened and became sweet and nectarian. The gardener, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributed them without asking any price. Tri Jagate Jata Ache Dana Ratnamani Ek Falera Muya Kore Taha Nahigani. All the wealth in the three worlds cannot equal the value of one such nectarian fruit of devotional service. Mage bana mage keho patra va apatra ihara vichara nahi jane deya matra. Not considering who asked for it and who did not, nor who was fit and who unfit to receive it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the fruit of devotional service. Anjali Anjali Bori Fele Chaturdishe Daridra Kudaya Kaya Malakara Hase. The transcendental gardener Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed handful after handful of fruit in all directions. And when the poor, hungry people ate the fruit, the gardener smiled with great pleasure. Malakarako Heshuna Brika Parivar Mulashaka Upashaka Jateka Prakar. Lord Chaitanya thus addressed the multifarious varieties of branches and sub-branches of the tree of devotional service. Alokika Brika Kore Sarvendriya Karma Stavara Hoya Dare Jangamera Dharma. Since the tree of devotional service is transcendental, every one of its parts can perform the action of all the others. Although a tree is supposed to be immovable, this tree nevertheless moves. Evrika anga hoy sabha sachaitan badi bariya vyapila sabe sakala bhuvan. Although the parts of the tree are spiritually cognizant, all the parts of this tree are spiritually cognizant, and thus, as they grow, they spread all over the world. Ekala malakarami kahan jab, ekala eva katafala padiya vilab. I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? Ekalutaya dite hoya parishram kehopai kehonapai rahe mane brahma. It would certainly be a very laborious task to pick the fruits and distribute them alone, and still I suspect that some would receive them and others would not. Atevama ami agya dilun sabakare jahan tahan premafala deho jaritare. Therefore, I order every man within the universe to accept this Krishna conscious movement and distribute it everywhere. Ekala malakarami katafalakab nadiyava efala araki koriba. Mahaprabhu says, it would certainly be a very laborious task to pick the fruits and distribute them alone, and still I suspect that some would receive them and others would not. Therefore, I order every man within this universe to accept this Krishna conscious movement and distribute it everywhere. Ekala malakarami katafalakab nadia va e fala araki koriba. I'm the only gardener. If I do not distribute these fruits, what shall I do with them? How many fruits can I alone eat? Atmai chamrite brika sinchi nirantar tahate asankhya phala brikara upar. By the transcendental desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, water has been sprinkled all over the tree, and thus there are innumerable fruits of love of Godhead. Ateva sabfal deho charitare kaya hauk loka ajara amare. Distribute this Krishna conscious movement all over the world. Let people eat these fruits and ultimately become free from old age and death. Jagat vapiya mora habe punya kyati suke hoya lok mora gahibeka kirti. If the fruits are distributed all over the world, my reputation as a pious man will be known everywhere, and thus all people will glorify my name with great pleasure. Bharata bhumite hoila manusya janmajar janma sartyaka kori kora parupakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. Mahaprabhu says, if the fruits are distributed all over the world, my reputation as a pious man will be known everywhere, and thus all people will glorify my name with great pleasure. And then this verse is very famous. Bharata bhumite hoila manusya janmajar janma sartaka kore kora parupakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. Etavas janmas safalyam dehinam iha dehishu pranar artardiya vacha shreya acharanam sada. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. Praninam upakaraya yadsveha paratracha karmana manasa vacha tad eva mati man bhajet. By his work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent man must perform actions which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and the next. By his work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent man must perform actions which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and the next. Male Manusya Mara Nahi Rajadan Phala Phula Diya Kori Punya Uparjun. Male Manusya Mar Nahi Rajadan Phala Phula Diya Kori Punya Uparjan. I am merely a gardener. I have neither a kingdom nor very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. Malihaya Brika Hoilan, Malahoya Brika Hoilan, Eta Ichate, Sarva Pranira Upakara Hoya Brika Hoite. Although I am acting as a gardener, I also want to be the tree, for thus I can bestow benefit upon all. Aho evam varam janma sarva prani upajivinam sujanash yeta yesham vai vimuka yanti nartinaha. Just see how these trees are maintaining every living entity. Their birth is successful. Their behavior is just like that of great personalities. For anyone who asks anything from a tree never goes away disappointed. According to Vedic civilization, Kshatriyas are considered to be great personalities because if anyone goes to a Kshatriya king and asks for charity, the king will never refuse. The trees are compared to those noble Kshatriyas because everyone derives all kinds of benefit from them. Some people take fruit, others take flowers, others take leaves, others take twigs, and others even cut the tree, and yet the tree gives to everyone without hesitation. Unnecessarily cutting trees without consideration is another example of human debauchery. The paper industry cuts many hundreds and hundreds of trees for its mills, and with the paper so much rubbish literature is published for the whimsical satisfaction of human society. Unfortunately, although these industrialists are now happy in this life by dint of their industrial development, they do not know that they will incur the responsibility for killing these living entities who are in the form of trees. This verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Lord Krishna to his friends when he was taking rest underneath a tree after his pastimes of stealing the clothes of the gopis, Vastraharana Lila. By quoting this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us that we should be tolerant like trees and also beneficial like trees, which give everything to the needy persons who come underneath them. A needy person may derive many advantages from trees and also from many animals, but in modern civilization, people have become so ungrateful that they exploit the trees and animals and kill them. These are some of the sinful activities of modern civilization. So once I was with Srila Prabhupada, and we traveled to Andhra Pradesh, to the Andhra Pradesh paper mill. And he was invited by that paper mill to speak there. And he spoke like this, what he's saying here in this verse. about people cutting down trees, how sinful it is, and how that trees are used to make paper, which is used to publish rubbish literature, and how this incurred everyone in sinful activities. He spoke very directly about that when he was invited to speak at the paper mill. Very bold. Agya Koila Jari Chaitanya Malakar Paramananda Paila Brika Parivar. The descendants of the tree, the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, were very glad to receive this order directly from the Lord. It is the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the benevolent activities of the Sankirtan movement, which was inaugurated 500 years ago in Navadip, be spread all over the world for the benefit of all human beings. Unfortunately, there are many so-called followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who are satisfied simply to construct a temple, make a show of the deities, collect some funds, and utilize them for eating and sleeping. There is no question of their preaching the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. But even though they are unable to do so, if anyone else does it, they become envious. This is the condition of the modern followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The age of Kali is so strong that it affects even the so-called followers of Lord Chaitanya. At least the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must come out of India to preach his cult all over the world, for this is the mission of Lord Chaitanya. The followers of Lord Chaitanya must execute his will with heart and soul, being more tolerant than the trees and humbler than the straw in the street. Jai Jahan Tahan Dana Kore Prema Fal Falasvade Mataloka Hoila Sakal. The fruit of love of God is so delicious that wherever a devotee distributes it, those who relish the fruit anywhere in the world immediately become intoxicated. Maha Madaka Prema Phala Peta Barikai Matila Sakala Lok Hasinachigai. The fruit of love of Godhead distributed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a great intoxicant that anyone who eats it, filling his belly, immediately becomes maddened by it, and automatically he chants, dances, laughs, and enjoys. Keho Garagari Jaya, Keho Nahunkar, Dekanandita Hoya Hasim Malakar. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great gardener, sees that people are chanting, dancing, and laughing, and that some of them are rolling on the floor and some are making loud humming sounds, he smiles with great pleasure. This attitude of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very important for persons engaged in the Hare Krishna movement of Krishna consciousness. In every center of our institution, ISKCON, we have arranged for a love feast every Sunday. And when we actually see people come to our center, chant, dance, take prasadam, become jubilant, and purchase books, we know that certainly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always present in such transcendental activities, and he is very pleased and satisfied. Therefore, the members of ISKCON, or us also, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mud, the members must increase this movement more and more according to the principles that we are presently trying to execute. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thus being pleased, will smilingly glance upon them, bestowing his favor, and the movement will be successful. E malakarakai e premafal niravari mata rahe vishvasa vivan. The great gardener, Lord Chaitanya, personally eats this fruit, and as a result he constantly remains mad, as if helpless and bewildered. Sarva loke mata koila apana saman premi mata lok bina nahidekian. With his Sankirtan movement, the Lord made everyone mad like himself. We do not find anyone who is not intoxicated by his Sankirtan movement. Jai Jai Purve Ninda Koila Bali Mato Jao Seho Fala Kai Nache Mole Balo Balo. Persons who had formerly criticized Sri Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, calling him a drunkard, also ate the fruit and began to dance, saying, very good, balo, balo. Eta kohilun, prema phala vitaran, abhishuna phala data, jj sakagan. After distributing the Lord's distribution of the fruit of love of Godhead, after describing the Lord's distribution of the fruit of love of Godhead, I now wish to describe the different branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After describing the Lord's distribution of the fruit of love of Godhead, I now wish to describe the different branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Rupa Raghunath, Padijara As, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kohe Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, 9th chapter, describing the desired tree of devotional service. Now we'll sing Hari Haraya. Today is Sri Lalita Saptami, the divine appearance of Sri Lalita Devi. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Madhanamo Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhaktivedanta Jarupa Sanadam Bhatta Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna Ekai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Yavate Vignana Shavista Puram Ekai Gosai Dharmui Tarada Vasabha Padarinu Mora Panchaga Padera Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniba Janame Janame More Abhila Echai Gosai Jabe Bhaje Koilaba Hare Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Gauriya. Harinam Sankirtana Gohe Naradamura. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Gauriya. Harinam Sankirtana Gohe Naradamura. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Jai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jhoki Jai. Jai Shri Lalita Saptami ki Jai. Jai Shri Lalita Virbhav Mahotsav ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Niri Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunashi Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dash Raghunash Shad Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Prem Sigal Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvambar Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Navadev Dham ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shri Goladev ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki Jai. Ganga Devi ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shivrindavan Dham ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Dham ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shrina Shringadeva ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Shri Vaidehi Devi ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan